Okay, so hello YouTube. Today, Monday, as usual, I'm here with Heitor, Gustavo, Márcio, Jairo, and our new friend Mayara. Our topic is euphemisms. We're gonna discuss a little bit about this habit. Some people have, some people are not so good with that, and we have some questions to discuss. Okay, so the first question, it is our introductions. We already know each other, so we're gonna skip to question number two. So, are you straight to the point, or do you usually use euphemisms? So for me, I'd say I'm not straight to the point. I'd like to be more like this, but usually I prefer to say things in a nicer way, to not just say whatever I want, whatever is on my mind. I try to be the most polite I can because it is, I don't know, it is about my way of behaving, my personality. Sometimes I prefer to stay silent, to not say anything at all. But I realize some people see in a different way. They prefer to just say it, whatever, because if something's bothering you, maybe you should say it so you can get free and you can think about other issues. But for me, I use euphemisms all the time. It's my way of talking and interacting with other people. And let's go with Gustavo. How about you?
Yeah, I like you. Use a lot of euphemism. I try to make things more easy, more polite, and try to explain myself about something. I would like to be more straight to the point in some topics because I think that don't make a misunderstood the other person because I'm trying to tell, oh, no, it's not like that. So you stay like in the wall, so you not decide a lot. So I say, so sometimes you got misunderstood, and it's a problem with that sometimes. Uh, until to get the point, I need to be straight to the point. But I don't know. I try to put in the other person, the other shoes, and I think I don't know how the other person is gonna feel. So I try to be more polite, and it's a little bit complicated sometimes to be like that. And you, Heitor?
Well, I think I'm the opposite of you guys. I try never use euphemism. I think if you can say, go to straight off the point, you maybe stay in silence. I don't know. I know them, some kind of persons are so softly and can hear the truth, but unfortunately, they maybe used to learn how to this and that. So I try always go to straight the point. And you, Mayara?
I think you are in the same page because I think actually I am 50-50 maybe because at some points, some objects I prefer to be more straight up point. However, I like to be more introducing the topic about it, especially when I need to do and explain something in my work. I am lawyer, so I need to explain everything in details, and everything is so polite, please, and everything is so formal. So I need to be more polite. On the other hand, in my life, I try to be more straight with my friends and family because I think this is it's important to be straight and basic and directed with this person, and the communication, in my point of view, is more effective, maybe. And you, Jairo?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think sometimes we need to contextualize, like give context to someone. So it depends. I well, at least for me, for me, it depends of the situation. Sometimes I can be direct, but sometimes not. So it depends of the context. I usually try to be direct, but I feel that every time that I do these kind of things, people in general, they especially I don't know. They tend to understand it as an impolite way to reply the question. I don't know exactly why it happened, but like yes or no, that's not enough. I think people they I don't know exactly, but they are trying to all right, but why not or why yes, they want to talk. Even a simple question should be followed by a very long answer. I don't know exactly why, but that's how I see these kind of situations. So for me, I understand that the context is important, especially in work environments. So in work situations, we need to give context every time. We need to do that. I don't like to do it, but I feel that all right, I should do it because otherwise, someone will misunderstand something or will see it as a unpolite answer. So um, I would say, importantly, I am. I feel that I need to be more. What is the name? Euphemisms, euphemistic person, because I need to talk and talk and explain the context, and then I go to the point. Yeah, and that's how I see it. But it depends. Sometimes I try to be very direct. For example, just an example. Every time that I have a chance to talk in English, like here in Talk and Talk, I try to, make my answer as long as possible because that's an opportunity to talk, to see how can I express my ideas, see how everything works in my mind. So that's why I still talking. But that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like you. I enjoy this time. I take this time to to practice as much as I can. And I'm gonna go with Marcio now. What do you think about this question?
Uh, Euphemism is a figure of speech used to make an tourist software more and pleasant and aggressive. But be careful what you say, and it's danger. It's but depends of on the situation too. And I think that's it.
Yeah, you have to choose your words carefully. I agree with you. Thank you so much. And guys, let's go to the next question. I think we kind of answered. Uh, do you think this characteristic affect your daily life, like being more straight to the point or using more euphemisms? If you, what do you think about this daily, in a daily basis? Eito.
I think that characteristics affect my day life because sometimes I try to cut off the conversation, or I don't know, the opposite of extend. I think limited our conversation. So maybe I say something, then uh, I will have to be I will have to ask apologize after a time. So I think that's affect my daily, but I try to stay in that line of thought. So I think is a part of my characteristic. And you, Jairo?
Yeah, I agree. it for sure affect our daily life. Again, it depends of the situation, because sometimes we expect a long answer, sometimes not. So it depends of the situation. I remember there are some specific moments in my daily routine. Like every day happens. Like I call to someone and I am very direct. Do you'd like to have this or that, this kind of thing? And people start to say, all right, yeah, I want this because and the answer is so long and I don't have time to listen because I have a lot of things to do. But still people try to explain everything, and all right, I understood, you want this, all right, that's okay, I don't need to understand everything that happened. I think nowadays is especially, we have a lot of things happen, and we have different things, in our personal life, work life, a lot of different things happening. We don't have time to understand everything that is happening. We need to be like direct. But when people are on the are like very direct, or they are not direct, it for sure affects our daily life. Sometimes for good, sometimes not, but for sure it affects. That's for sure. What do you think? Let me see, Mayara.
I agree with all you guys. And I think this is a little complicated to be more not direct person, because you need to be clean in your communication. As Gustavo mentioned before, it's to avoid understood. So I think this is important to think about it before you said to someone. So I have been practice to write what you think, what I want to say for this person in my work or in my personal life. And I write them and I review this writing, and I said, no, now I can't say this for this person because like I studied before, and I think it's not to be a root or something awful for this person. I can be understandable for them. So yes, this is like a tip. I think this is good for everyone to write what you want to say, and like to organize your ideas, and after to say this person and be a great communication, effective communication with someone. And Gustavo, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you guys. That's depend. There are some moments that need to be more straight, and there are some points that need more like use euphemism. And listen to Mayara. I remember when you're writing some email to your boss or something like that, use some different words, and sometimes you write and say, "Oh, I'm in a rush, I'm in a rush." So you write, you send, it, and after 5 minutes, oh, I don't know if it was the better way for me to write that. So sometimes I was unpolite because I write this, or sometimes I'm gonna write something and use more euphemism, and you don't know how the other person gonna understand that. So if you're gonna get some misunderstood, so yeah, I think it's depend of the point, but for sure it's affect my day life in the work, in my day life, my social day life as well with my friends, because like I said, I tried to put in the other shoes and see, oh, I don't know if I to be more a lot straight and gonna hurt someone, but in some moments that is important to do, and you can always say sorry in the end. I don't know if it's gonna be there is a other that just kidding, but I don't know if it's gonna be more easy, but yeah, sometimes you need to be direct to the point, and I think that's it. And you, Marcia, what do you think?
I think, but and you need to be careful what you say, speaking or writing, and and characteristic affecting my life, and sometimes, and the question and is and euphemism is characteristic affect sometimes is my life.
Sorry, I was muted, but I'm with you. I think sometimes, yeah, we have to, like Mayara said something about emails and writing. I think that is a great advice because when you write, you can see the whole picture. Sometimes we are speaking and we don't have much time to think through to measure the words we are using or we are taken by the situation, by emotions, you know. But when you write, you should take this extra time to elaborate a little bit more. Thank you, guys. It's a great uh, point of views you all brought here. And I'd like to go to the next question. Okay, so question number 4. I'm gonna start with you, Gustavo. Could you read it and answer?
Number 4. In
Yeah.
your opinion, why do we sugarcoat things? I think to be more soft with the person. I had a teacher on the college that he worked with English person, a manager, and he remembers sometimes the English person was talking as American person, American manager, and was talking with some employee, and he was straight to the point. He said, "Oh, I didn't like what you do. I didn't like that." And they said that way, and the other person feels so hurt, like start to crying, and he not understand what happened at the moment, and he asked for other employee, what happened? I just did that. I didn't like what the task that he was doing is not right or something like that. And I think like us Brazilian and Latin person, I think Latin language, like Romance language, is it's kind of there's a lot of word and there's a way of speaking of the person, and sometimes if you speak straight to the point, the other person gonna say, oh, you speaking with me like that, you don't like me. No, it's not like I don't like you, I don't like what you did. So sometimes you get misunderstood when you get so straight to the point. And I think because of that, you use sugarcoat, so try to think more easily for the other person, not easily but softly, or not hurt a lot. So I think because of that, that we use sugar coat to let things more soft for the other person, not hurt a lot. And you, Heitor.
Actually, I totally agree with you. If I can add a point, I think some things it's hard to listen, some because are hard to change. I let me do a specific example. If you told someone, then maybe he's a fat person, it's hard not to be fat. It's not something that you can change in a day, in a week, in a month. But in another situation, as you say, if you do something, some task, then your manager didn't like it. So I think it's more easily to change that. Okay, you do that wrong, just do this the right way. So as Jairo say, depend of the situation, you have to balance this because some characteristics of the person is not hard to change, so it's not easily to change. You have to concern about that and ponder your opinion about that and your feedbacks maybe. And you, Mayara?
Yes, I think this is more about a workplace. For example, last week, I committed a wrong mistake in my task, and I said to my boss, and she said like, "Oh, okay. what is the solution? I think this is important to focus on solution, is not focus in the problem. So she's my new boss. My old boss, it was very like angry when it happened, and everything is like, oh, you did this wrong, oh, you know, blah blah blah. And this new boss is different because she said, what do we can do to solution this problem? And I think about it like it's so simple for everyone to think about it. What is the solution? Is not, oh, you are horrible lawyer, you are horrible manager, you need to solve this problem now. It's so easy to be polite and with your employee and go to the point and solution together. I think this is so obvious, you know, it's so simple, and everybody is like, oh, it's a problem, you have to, it's a problem, you are horrible, you need to figure out what you need to work of this and deal with this. It's so heavy, you know. I think it's more soft to be a good person and understand this is normal to happen, to be a mistake, you know. So yeah, I think that's it. And you, Jairo?
Yeah, I think we need that. When even direct people need these sugar coat things, you know, like sugar coat words. Like we need to make it. I don't know this word is swallowable, like swallow, like the, you know, because that's a specific thing about human. I think we are affected by words. So it depends of how we. First, I think it's important to understand who is telling. You know, because sometimes I have some friends that they are very direct. They tell me things that I don't know if other people, like a manager or something like that, say it for me, it will be bad. But as they are friends and we are very close, I understand, and I you know, I accept it. All right, I understand, you know, like that's okay. So first, I think it depends on who is talking to you, with you, about what, you know, because as a human we are affected by the words, but also the importance of the people. uh, I was talking with a friend, and she was telling me about um, the words that her mother, it's more strong. I mean, the same words that her mother told to her had different effects if when I said, for example, I am a friend of her, and I was telling the same thing that her mother said, but she understood and get it, like, or that's okay, I understand your point of view, but she said, my mother said the same thing, but for some reason I didn't accept that, you know. And I realized that it happens because it was said by her mother, and you know, the relation was not so good. So the first thing I think is who is talking with you, because depends of the person. As a human, we are affected in different ways, but also the way that we are speaking affect us, of course. So we need to be careful with our words. But again, I don't like this. I don't like this because, you know, it makes things difficult. I like things like very simple. Oh, you are right, you are wrong. Do it or not do it, and you know, like very direct. But I understand. I understand when it happens a lot. Of course, it happened with me without I I realize, like, it's something that happened naturally. for sure it's something related with our humanity. Like we are human and we have these psychological things happen in our minds. I don't know exactly why or how to deal with that. For sure there is a technique, but yeah, I do know that we need to make things like sweet to understand, to listen. That's important, but I don't know exactly how to manage. I try to do it, but sometimes I do it right, sometimes not. What do you think, Marcio? I think Marcio didn't talk yet about the question number 4, right?
Yeah, sugar with watermelon. Sometimes to make a sweater. And sometimes we need it so as not to complicate things. I think so. And sugar with watermelon sometimes. Because situation is complicated. I think that's it.
Yeah, Jairo was saying something about using euphemisms can make conversation harder, but for me it's the opposite because I cannot be straight to the point. So if someone just says whatever to me, I think would be harder for me to deal with this than using using euphemisms, being being nicer. I agree with Gustavo. He mentioned about our cultural thing. For example, as Brazilians, I don't know about you, but I don't say, oh, I don't want to go. I say, oh, I will think about it. I will call you, something, between to avoid being rude somehow or to just hurt someone's feelings. I think it is a cultural thing as well. Like something you do without noticing it, but it's normal because you want to be accepted, you want to be loved, you want to be part of a group, maybe. And of course, this part of the complexity of human relationships, as Jairo mentioned. So now we can go to the question number 5. Okay, so is there any situation where it would be better to be completely direct? Could you give us some examples? I'm going to start with Mayara. What do you think?
Yes, I think there are several types of situation. It would be better to be directed person. For instance, when we teach someone something, especially about a law, because I'm a lawyer. So when I try to teach my intern to something about a law, I try to be more simple and clear as possible. So I need to be straight up point because it's important to understand the introduction about it, the subject, and after with examples and everything. So I think this is one of this kind of the context. It's important to be direct, to be effective in this picture someone. And you, Marcia?
You're muted. No problem.
I'm sorry. Yes, I agree with you, Mayara. And direct important in our situation, the person, and because it's okay in the situation and bye bye, ciao. That's it. I think. Yeah, but my situation with my brother, sometimes I fight, okay, in situation, And I think direct, completely direct. I agree.
Okay, thank you. And can you choose the next person?
And you, Ito.
Thank you.
I agree with you guys. I think the most of situation you have to be straight at the point. If I could give an example, last week I have a feedback from my work. My manager had a good feedback and a bad feedback to give to me. So I realized she was trying to say some things just to clean the path to give me the bad feedback. So try to say, oh, you are a nice employer, you are so communicative, you do extra times, but I have to say something. And I think it was better if she was straight to the point and tell me, I think you have to get better in this point of your work. And I agree with the feedback, but I have to explain to that why I did what I did. So I think in the most tough situations, you have to be straight to the point, to be directly. So that's my opinion, actually. And you, Jairo?
Oh, that's difficult. A situation. I don't remember a specific situation. I think that it happens every time, every day. Like we always have always have some experience that it happens, like situations that we see that we should try to be like contact, give a context, then try, to surround with different, with nice words, and then direct to the point with, as Aitor said, with a bad feedback. I wouldn't say a bad, but like something that you think that people won't like. So yeah, it happens a lot. But usually when I call to someone and ask questions, I like to have the answer very fast, like yes or no. It depends of the situation, but very fast, especially when I call them. Because context, we can talk about the context in a meeting or something. But when we call, it's like urgent. All right, I'm calling you because I need that. Can you do it? Yes or no? That's all I want. And sometimes it doesn't happen. I don't know because I have these or that to do. I have this appointment. No worries. Just tell me. You can do it. I think these kind of things happen with me when I call someone, and I'm not talking about just about work, but even in my personal life. Sometimes I call to someone and I need I need the information fast, and it didn't happen. So that's the situation that comes to my mind. But yeah, and that's it. I don't remember a specific one. I do know that it happens a lot. These two situation that we need to give context, and situations that we must be direct. Yeah.
I
Go
don't know
ahead.
if Gustav is back, but I was just going to add that I believe that's easier for us to apply this in at the workplace than in our personal lives, because
Sure.
since you know that person so well, you have all these fears that you're gonna hurt them, so it is important for us to make this to be aware of the words we can use, the things we should avoid to say. But I think the example I was going to give it is related to work as well. Like I decided to confront some work colleagues because I felt a bad environment and about gossip and things like that. And I usually don't say anything. I'm just stay silent. But it was bothering me so much that I decided to talk with them. And I think it was good because I was dropping some hints that I was aware of the gossip involving my name, But I decided to talk with the person, the people who are involved with the situation. And next thing I know, they were inviting me to have lunch. Like that never happened before. And maybe this decision of going straight to the point, it was good for me to speak a little bit more about my opinions and to improve the environment of the work, because sometimes it's hard to deal with your work colleagues. And we have some minutes. Okay, let's keep some questions. Okay, so question number 8. Who is more likely to use euphemisms, men or women? Marcio, what do you think?
The question for me it's complicated. It's hard. I don't know. I don't know because I'm me, yeah, woman. I don't know. Please, sorry, I don't know. And
That's
you
okay.
I think it's more easily for women use euphemism. I think men's more like go straight the point, and humans maybe tell something not fun, but something to provoke you. So I think humans are the best for use euphemism, that's my opinion. And you, Mayara?
I'm suspicious to say. I think women can be more, how can I say? I think we talk and speak so about everything and like everything without think about it before. So when I need to say something for my boyfriend, I try to writing, as I said before, this technique. But when we are in the place and about our feelings, we are sensitive person, people. And I think this is like for us easier to say, to practice, to talk a lot of, because men don't talk so many times that we talking. So yeah, I think it's a little different between us. And you, Gustavo, I don't know if he back to us.
Yeah,
No?
I don't think so. You can write
Yeah.
here, Gustavo, when you come back, or just open your camera. Let's go with Jairo.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mayara.
Yeah, I think also it depends. I do think that in a general way, women they talk more, but it depends. They talk more. I don't know. I don't even think that girls talk more. They like to talk about different topics. Men's they are very restricted. No, let's talk about these topic first, then another one. All right, and then men's usually say, "All right, we were talking about something different. We were talking about your mother. Why we are talking about my friend now? These kinds of thing. We are very, just this point. Don't move up to another topic without finish this one first. And women, they are like, or they connect different topics in the same, in the same topic. We are talking about subtopics like these kind of things. But that's difficult. That's difficult because sometimes men likes to talk about the topics they like. So if you request opinion for men about, I don't know, a hobby or something, for sure they will talk a lot of these specific subject. What I think is the way that we see it, like men's, they will restrict their opinions in just one specific topic, and women tends to connect with other ideas. They go and talk about different things, then come back to the topic and these kind of things. But it depends. I was it reminds me a conversation that I had with a friend, because he told me he was trying to avoid a conversation. To do it, he was talking a lot, Oh, I don't, yeah, you agree, because he was trying to avoid the conversation. To avoid, he was talking a lot, because he didn't like to talk about a specific topic. To do it, he was talk. So it depends of there is some situation that people talk a lot to avoid talk a specific topic. And it happens sometimes at work, in the personal life. I already saw these happen, like, all right, she or he is talking so much, but he didn't reply the question. She didn't reply the question. It will happen in the future, but it already happened with, like government situations, these kinds of, every time that someone asks something very critical, and, like, the politicians don't want to answer the question. How they do? They talk, and don't reply the question. So it depends. It depends. Sometimes women do it. Sometimes men do it. It depends of the subject that we are talking about. And
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, because I don't think Gustavo is back yet.
All
I
right.
was just going to say something. The sentence that came to my mind was, it wasn't what you said, it was the way you said it. So for me,
Yeah.
it's about women being, I think women are more likely to use euphemisms because we elaborate a little bit more sometimes. Maybe because we can be more delicate with our words. And since you feel hurt by the way someone speaks to you, that's why we can, in my opinion, we can work in a softer way, to sugarcoat things a little bit more. That's what I had to say. And since Jairo mentioned something about politicians going in circles before answering something, I have the last question for you. Okay, question number 10. Imagine you're terrible at using euphemisms. What careers should you avoid? Like, I could never be a politician, for example, like Jairo mentioned. Let me see. Yeah, I was going with this answer, so I'm not gonna talk much because you have to be good at using euphemisms to, I don't know if it is deceive people. Sometimes, yes, you deceive with having this kind of answers. You don't have the whole idea to give to the people, but sometimes it is just a strategy to get some time, to deal with the consequences of some problem. Maybe I think if you are a politician, you should be really good at this. Yeah. What do you think, Eto?
Well, I think you could be a salesperson if not a good with euphemisms. So, as Jairo said, I have the same problem. If I ask something to someone, for example, do you want to buy this? And that another person say, no, okay, thank you. I'm not able to discuss why you should buy that. So I think salesperson is not a good career for bad euphemisms person. And you, Mayara?
I think that I agree with Tara because it's not my thing to be a politician. I don't like uh, to talk with some people like fake people, and I need to be fake too to understand the person and to be someone in the business. So I prefer to be myself. So I think this is you you'd be a struggle for me this career to be politician. And you, Marsh.
I believe if you think like this, and nothing will exist in the world, we need to understand. I think, I think, I believe on the people. I believe in the person. Very important for me. Yes. I feel if you think like this, um, people and nothing exists in the world. Um, I need to understand, I think.
Yeah, to be understandable, it is good for us to work on our relations. Good point. Thank you. And guys, I posted here, as you already know it, the survey, so you can give your feedback, your score, suggest some topics. And the second link is for YouTube, so you can watch this conversation, you can give us comments, likes, whatever your heart desires. Okay, Jairo, I'm gonna give it to you this question. What career would not be a good fit if you are not good with euphemisms?
Euphemisms. Yeah, I think YouTuber, for example. I think psychologist. Teacher.
Yeah, good one.
Yeah, these kind of things. Heitor already said sales person. Well, I think that these kind of careers, because people think to expect polite answers from these kind of people, from these kind of professionals, even like something that we don't want to listen, we expect to listen in a nice way. So these kind of careers, for sure, they must be very nice. They must do it. It's not something that you should. You must do it. It's a requirement to be in this type of career. So for sure, teacher, psychologist. I think YouTuber, they already have this ability. They choose a small topic and make it very big, like 1 hour and a half talking about something very small. What happened?
It's a gift.
Yeah. So these kind of things, these kind of careers. But everyone should in some way be, I forgot the words. Let me find it. Euphemist at some point. Of course, the opposite of it. Be straight to the point. It's important. So we need to mix the two ability, the two skills, and find the appropriate